All right, welcome back everyone. Dr. Ben, not a real doctor here. And you may notice that I'm still in Virginia. This was not the plan. I was supposed to be gone, well, about 2 weeks ago now, and I'm still here. And that's sort of what I'm here to talk about today, is how perception plays into how we feel about things. I am incredibly frustrated about basically being stuck in Virginia. And at the moment, there's not a whole lot I can do about it except just roll with it. I've done everything I can do, and now it's just hurry up and wait. But despite the way that looking calm, cool, relaxed, that is not how I was 3 days ago. It looked a little bit more like this. I was really beating myself up. I was really pissed off. I was pissed off to the point where I basically I couldn't see anything but the fact that I was stuck in Virginia. And thankfully, I have a wonderful community of people here and people who give really good advice. Some friends let me borrow their car while my truck is sort of indisposed at the moment, so I can get around. But more importantly, they also talked to me and got me to take a chill pill and realize that even though I'm stuck in Virginia and I don't really want to be here and I would like to be in Colorado where I live now, there are still things here that I can take advantage of, and to not be so pissed off that you overlook those things. So even though I'm stuck here, there are still things I can do. I can still do business. I can still shoot videos even though it's not in the way I would like to. Here I am shooting a video. So one of the big ones for me that I hadn't really thought of, which is kind of crazy, but I'm going to go visit my mom and my brother today. On the way here, on the way there, I'm going to grab a cup of coffee and I'll fill you in on what's going on and just sort of how perception colors your experience and how there's no such thing as a good thing or a bad thing. There's just the way you see it and how it affects you. So let's go grab that cup of coffee. Let's go visit my mom and my brother. All right, so coffee success. Now, in true typical snafu fashion, I recorded a bunch of stuff on the way over from the coffee shop and then got here and realized I hadn't recorded anything. I didn't push the record button. So I guess I'll just have to say all that stuff all over again. So let's go. So being stuck here, something I hadn't really thought of because I was so pissed off about being stuck here, was that I probably won't be coming back to Virginia for quite a while. And there's a park that my family used to go to when I was a kid, and that's where we've placed the ashes for my mom and my brother. And it didn't even occur to me that I wouldn't be able to go visit that for possibly, years, depending on how long it is before I come back this way. And the way things change around here, I mean, maybe the park be gone next time I come back. So Lauren and one of my friends impressed upon me that it's probably a really good idea for me to go visit while I'm in town. And the story of my mom and my brother really does play into, this idea of there is no good or bad, there's just perception. My little brother had an aneurysm at the dinner table right before I was 10, and he basically just fell over dead. There was no saving him. He was done. So obviously, as a child, that really colored my opinion of the world and the possibility, and really cemented in me the idea that you could die at any time. Like, he was 5 years old when he died. So, for a long time, I think I was pretty cynical and pretty jaded, just because that's a hard thing to swallow when you're a kid, At 9 years old, I still didn't really have a real idea of what dead was, and that pretty much cemented it and colored the way I viewed the world well into adulthood. About 7.5 years ago, my mom took her own life, And while my brother was hard, my mom was an awful lot harder. It really, to the core of my being, shook who I thought she was, what I thought I knew about her, what I thought I valued, and what I thought I wanted to do with my life. All of a sudden, everything I thought was important suddenly seemed really insignificant. And while that was a terrible, terrible time in my life, I would say it was the driving force for getting to where I am right now. It's not that I would wish to go through that again, or that I wish anybody would ever go through that, but I don't know, had I not gone through that, if I would be where I want to be like I am right now. So in one way, you could look at both of those events and say that they were terrible, terrible events. And objectively, they definitely were. But in the long term, I was sort of blessed to go through that because they shaped the way that I see things, and those events have pushed me to do what I want to do, to be where I want to be, and to not just sit back and settle and ride out whatever I'm doing just because it's comfortable. That's not going to get me where I want in my life. I might not be around tomorrow, so I might as well go do what I want to do, and not in like a stupid kind of run up your credit card bills and blow all your money kind of way, but in a realistic, like, directing your life kind of way. So we're going to hold that thought, and I am going to continue this talk on the trail down to where my family's ashes are. Hold on. Now, this isn't a place that I've come to often. In fact, until we put my mom's ashes here, I hadn't been here since I was a kid. And then a few years ago, I decided to bring a friend out here. And that was the first time I'd ever told anybody even where the ashes were for my family. And I don't know, it was kind of cathartic to come out and visit it again. And it just really helped bring back into perspective all the things I'd done to get where I am. At that time, I was feeling kind of stuck. And just kind of gotten wrapped up in the whole quarantine thing because I'd already planned on moving to Colorado, and it wasn't going to happen because of quarantine. So coming out and visiting this spot helped me refocus and remember what it was I wanted, and to not get too caught up in things that I couldn't do anything about. And so I just knuckled down and refocused and saved up a bunch of extra money, and now I live in Colorado. So it's kind of ironic that I didn't think to come back out here and visit this spot while I was stuck here. And you know, the talk with Lauren and the talk with my friend really helped me stop being such a little whiny bitch, basically, and start looking at the things I could do while I was stuck here and try and make it work for me, rather than just focus on all the things I couldn't do that I wanted to do, which was exactly what I was doing at the time. I wish I could remember who said it, and I'll have to look it up and add it in here somewhere. But 10% of life is what happens to you. 90% is your perception of it. Things are going to happen that are going to be painful. They're going to hurt. There are going to be things that you can't do anything about sometimes, and sometimes there'll be things you can do something about. But the trick is once things have settled down enough where you've done your mourning or whatever you need to do, to see what you can get from it, rather than just stay stuck in that mindset of, I can't, I don't want to, or why. Because none of that's going to help anything. It's the lessons that you learn, the driving force you get from it to push you forward to the next thing that are really going to make a difference. I don't wish ill on anyone, but the things that have happened to me in my life that have been, we'll say, less than desirable are what have made me who I am. They've made me able to take chances and trust myself and push for things I want, because to a certain extent, in the vast majority of cases, I've been through worse. So even if it goes south, I'll find a way out of it. And so can you. I mean, we're all resilient when it comes down to it if we choose to be. I'm nothing special. Everybody can do what I've done. There are people out there who've done more than I've done from worse situations. So instead of dwelling on good or bad, just see what you can get out of it. So right down this trail where my brother and my mom's ashes are, I'm gonna go in here and just hang out and enjoy and say hi, whatever I feel like doing. Just, I don't know, advice, whatever you want to call it. We're all human. We all get stuck in our heads. Hopefully you have a good community that can help you snap out of it. But also, you know, just remember to look at the situation and see what you can do instead of what you can't do or what you wish you were doing. It'll be, even in sort of crappy situations, it'll be a lot more manageable and you'll come out with a lot more that way. I'm gonna run down this trail here, go say hi. I hope you guys have a fabulous day, and I hope whatever's going on in your life right now, you have a community and a way to manage it. Until next time, keep your life in motion.